Welcome back to the Tarqaron Podcast, everybody. Yes.
All right.
It's what's turned back into a monthly podcast here on the channel.
Whoa.
You know,
at least for a little bit. We'll see how long
on.
it keeps going. But it gets a little off and on here, but
yeah,
we'll keep it going for the time being, I guess. You know.
We'll see what's going on. I mean, we know we recently had the launch of the Switch 2. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. So obviously, we touched on that a bit with Welcome Tour that we reviewed. But
right.
We'll dabble in some other things, talk about what stuff we've been enjoying, as well as update on a couple of things, and then go into comments and all the videos released in the last month. If we have time, maybe we'll throw in a random topic at the end. See how it goes. All right, I think
do that potentially.
A good point to always start on is an update on our year-long Tarqaron challenge, Tarqaron Backlog challenge. All right. We need a scoreboard update every month. See if things are changing or not. All right.
Update.
So if you don't know what the challenge is, it's something we started way back in the January podcast for the year. Essentially, we each put together a list of 10 games that we wanted to finish from our backlogs. And if we finish one of those, you get 1 point. All right. And then we also gave a list of 5 to the other person. And so if you finish one of your assigned games, you get 2 points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the year will be crowned Tarqaron's best gamer and receive a trophy from the other person. Okay?
The best gamer award.
So previously, you were at 1 point, correct?
Yep, that is correct. I beat Bloodborne.
How many points do you have now?
I have 1 point.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently.
1 point.
Yeah.
I thought you were knocking on the second point's door at least.
I was, but I haven't. Man, it's been tough. It's been tough to find time to game right now. Work has been ridiculously busy. I worked like 60 hours last week. So like pretty much all my game time was spent playing the game that we just reviewed for the channel, and a little bit of my Gents challenge game, and that's about it. Another game as well, but I'll get into that when we talk about games we've been playing recently. But that is the other game. The other game that I'm not mentioning is a game on the list, so I will say that. But yeah.
Okay. And so what? Recap all the games you have left on your list.
Okay, so all the games I have left. Oh god. Okay, well, all right. We got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy 16, Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, Hogwarts Legacy, Yooka-Laylee, Stellar Blade, Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit and Labyrinth, and Stray. And then on Zach's list, it's Bug Fables, Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate 3, Astrobot, and Sea of Stars.
Okay.
A lot of RPGs.
I'm trying to remember actually what I had last month. If I had 1 point, I either had 1 point or 2 points.
Yeah, I don't remember what's on your full list.
So I think I had 1 point before.
And
so now I have 4. I have 4 points. So I beat Walking Dead: A New Frontier was on my list, and then Yooka-Laylee I beat for the Gents Challenge, which is one that you assigned me. So that's 2 points.
Right.
So then I had previously beaten Skies of Arcadia Legends, so I'm at 4 points. I was honestly hoping to come in. I thought I would have beaten Life is Strange 2 by now, because I started playing that, but I just haven't been playing it as much ever since the Switch 2 came out. I've been primarily playing that. So, yeah, for the rest of my list now, I have Life is Strange 2. I have Resident Evil 4 on PS5, Sandland, The Witcher 3, Dragon Quest IX, Kingdom Hearts 2, Ni no Kuni, and a Call of Duty game. And then from your list, I have Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Final Fantasy VII, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Final Fantasy 13. So, Life is Strange 2 is one I'm aiming for next. I would like to go over into the 2-pointer maybe and get one of those again and just really cushion my lead a little bit. You know,
right.
I was trying to just bury you by the time this episode even came out. I wanted it to be over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no. Well, there's a few Yeah, I mean the fact that work's been crazy busy and like I'm gonna have to be moving. You're gonna probably take a good lead into going into September because that's about when we're gonna be moving, and so that leaves me like 3 months to really grind it out here. Other than doing my Gents Challenge games, I'll probably only focus on one. I don't remember what are my games again. Control and I don't even remember. My brain is fried. It's super hot today. Oh, it's Metal Gear Solid, the original Metal Gear Solid. That's not that long of a game. I mean, it is, but it's not.
We'll see.
That's like a 20-hour game, probably. So I could bang that out.
Yeah. So speaking of Gents Challenge, yeah, we'll do our video obviously at the end of the challenge, which is still quite a ways away. Got over a month left still. But I beat both of my games within the first week, so that's when I was like, I was really gonna just use this time and bury you. But I've actually been bouncing around other games that aren't on my list really. So I beat the ukulele for the Gents Challenge and Deadly Creatures, which was not on our list, but it was interesting. We'll go into that more. But yeah, it's interesting. The Gents Challenge, we've had a good amount of progress. Probably like a pretty even split in terms of people who've finished their games already or not. A couple Supreme Gents, and I know that Tara finished her game, right? Or no?
She did finish. Yeah.
I just made that up.
I think she finished. Now I was like, now I'm not sure. Yes, she finished Control.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she was just asking me. She was just asking me yesterday how much progress I'd made on it. Yeah, she beat Control.
Right.
So she's still got plenty of time to play whatever the other game was that I don't remember either. that she had.
Rusty posted recently that he put some time into Ultros and he's like, not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, he's just like, nah, I'm throwing in the towel on this one. But I think Golden Sun will be more his speed. I think he's going to appreciate that game way more. I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about Ultros. I remember Blink had pretty high praise for that last year because I think it came out last year. But
what's interesting is that Ninja Pengu was basically like, yeah, I beat this game. I'm just done. I'm not even gonna. Final Fantasy IX is not happening because like, is this going on this week? Is this come on next week? I'm like, damn, throwing in the towel after you beat the first game with still over a month left. Crazy.
There's Death Stranding 2, which by the way, I was very, very, very fortunate. I might have a problem, Zach. So I pre-ordered this game back in March. I don't remember pre-ordering it at all. I do not remember it whatsoever. So I was going to buy the collector's edition again without realizing it until I get an email notification from PlayStation today that said, "Thank you for your purchase." And I was like, wait, hold the phone. I never finalized anything. I was like, I had it in my cart and I was like looking at checking out and stuff. And then I like looked it up and I like checked my email. And I did like a backward search for Death Stranding 2 and I was like, oh my God, I pre-ordered this back in March.
Wow.
What? I don't remember doing that at all. That's bad. That's really bad. But I haven't finished the first Death Stranding. So this is just like, I just want to have that because I have that Death Stranding collector's edition. It's beautiful. It's weird. I had BB like on my shelf, the little baby in the thing at home, and when I had family over that were like helping, looking at stuff and like trying to get stuff to move, it like really freaked out my nieces. And it freaked out my nieces, and I don't know if it's because like my sister-in-law is a midwife. She runs her own like home birth midwife business. So I don't know if it was like something about that where it's like, oh, there's like it's like a baby and like a thing, and I'm like, yeah, but he's good. He's a good little baby. He's your friend.
Sure. I
was like, there's nothing creepy about it. I mean, it is kind of creepy, but he's good. BB's good. He's cute. And he's a good boy. He helps you He helps find the bad guys for you.
Yeah,
Makes it uneasy.
Death Stranding is one of the ones that's been sitting there, waiting to play. And it's like one of those PS4 games. It's like I probably should have just never bought it because I could have gotten the PS5 version straight up. But
that soundtrack is something else for that game, though. Freaking walking around in churches, music starts playing. So good.
I didn't even play the game, and that's where I discovered churches, and then
they're so good. They're such a good band.
From when they did like the Game Awards or something, where they performed.
Oh yeah, you're just like, oh,
yeah. I was into it. But so I've been bouncing around with different games. I'd never used. Okay, so the Switch 2 came out.
Right. Yeah, that's been
talk about Switch.
That's 2. Been big for me.
Mario Kart World obviously was the biggest thing that I spent most of my time on initially. And so how are we feeling about Mario Kart World?
I think it is an extremely good Mario Kart game. Time is going to tell. I don't think it's better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I think we also have to remember that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like even the deluxe version, I guess base Mario Kart 8 was still really good, but it took some updates and it took like the DLC and stuff to like really kind of elevate it even up higher than it was already at base version. Deluxe just was kind of just like basically like confirmation. Okay, this is like the best Mario Kart game ever made.
Yeah.
Mario Kart World is extremely good. There's a lot that they get right with it, I think. But I can't help but feel that it is missing just that one extra thing to make it like really, really, really great. And I can't really quite put my finger on it. It might just simply be the fact that the open world thing is just kind of what they showed off in the trailers, that there's no real
it was like
extra thing to it. And it's cool. It's like a neat thing, but it's like that's it. It's just a neat thing. That's kind of all it is.
It's not something you're really gonna be like you can get lost in for hours. Just just playing that. So
it's just like it's something to do. It's something to kind of do either with your friends just to kind of hang out, or just you're tired of getting your butt kicked in Knockout Tour. And
I think the game is really fun. I think it's one of the most fun Mario Karts I've ever played. As a game, though, it's like fun. I've found that it's like really almost too chaotic when you play online. It's like knockout mode.
Yeah.
Almost like everybody's just getting crazy items all the time, and I'm like, whether I win or lose, it doesn't feel earned. I'm like, I managed to squeak out one win of the few I played, but I didn't necessarily feel good about it because some rounds I got like 2 giant mushrooms, 3 bullet bills, and it's just at the right time. And then one round I was in first place, going for even in the early stage where you got to be 16th or higher. I was in first place. I got blue shelled and ended up at 17th within 5 seconds. I was like right there at the finish line.
And this is something I was watching Pete stream it, and this is before I was able to get my Switch too, before I got mine in the mail. So I was watching him stream it, and it is kind of like one of the. I think it is actually legitimately kind of a problem that everyone is always grouped up constantly the entire time.
It's a mass.
It's like 1 second goes by, and you're in last place.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. I can't think of a single kart racer. Not even Mario Kart 8 was that chaotic.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's like bullet bill, giant mushroom all over. Just shit being thrown. The people desperately trying to get ahead of this mass.
I feel like there has to be, and maybe this is something they can implement down the line, because I'm sure they're going to continue to update this game. It'd be silly for them not to. But maybe introduce some variants where it's like no items knockout smash, or like limited items knockout smash, where it's like you can kind of like shells only or no shells, or like only speed boost items, or something that kind of balance the game out a little bit more I know that sounds silly. Mario Kart is not about like quote unquote balancing or whatever. But there's got to be a little bit of a give and take to it. It can't just all be completely random all the time. Because like Mario Party doesn't work without randomness, but it also doesn't work without it being at least somewhat consistent some of the time. And that's sort of the problem with that particular mode. I found that like the general online, the not Knockout Smash version works like very similarly to most other Mario Kart online modes, and I really enjoyed my time that I spent with that. It's hard. Everyone is still kind of grouped together a lot, but it feels a lot less like I'm getting bullet billed every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But sandbagging has also been a big, as I've been understanding. I haven't played enough of it to really see it in action, but from what I understand, sandbagging has been kind of a massive thing going on in the game.
What do you mean by that?
So that's by intentionally slowing down
to get the better items.
To get better items. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah,
which is weird.
You are not
it's
rewarded.
Just a strange thing.
You literally, it's a weird thing where you don't, especially in Knockout Tour, you don't want to be first immediately. You want to you're weirdly playing a weird, like it's like you're playing Survivor or something. I want to be in the middle. I don't want to be too much of a threat. I don't want to just do really well right out the gate. Let me hold back a little bit so I get some of the people. It's just a mess. You're just trying to survive.
There aren't enough options for you to get out of the way of certain items. I think they do still have the same tech that they've had in previous games. You can mushroom your way out of blue shells. You can use the horn your way out of blue shells and most other shells as well. But that's hard. It's hard to do. It's hard timing, particularly when everything else is going on. So, yeah. So it's got its issues, but that being said, I mean they've just knocked it out of the park in basically every other way. Like,
amazing music.
The courses, the music is probably the best Mario Kart soundtrack ever.
Yeah. Just
saying a lot. But it's just so good. It's like they've really nailed down an aesthetic, the more complex moves that you can do just always feel really fun to be able to pull off. The grinding and the like wall jumping are always like they always feel fun to do. And they pretty much nailed every other aspect of the game, I think.
Yeah, it's just
to make it
fun.
feel
It's
really
just
good.
fun, and I still haven't been able to get a group of people together. I imagine that's even more fun, and imagine a huge group of people that everybody just going in this huge lobby. Like maybe imagine a big knockout tour with people that could be a lot of fun. I do think I dabbled in the battle mode a bit with my girlfriend and my brother, and it is a lot of fun. The balloon battles is actually a lot of fun, but I still stand by what I thought initially when I saw it. I was like, wow, where are the battle modes? There's only balloon battle and coin runners, and coin runners is super boring. I was never a big fan of it, but even more in this one, I was like, yeah, I'll probably never. I played it once, I'll never touch it.
Wasn't Shine Runners one of the ones that was in Double Dash, right?
Shine Runners is great.
Yeah.
It's like
that's like King of the Hill, basically.
King of the Hill,
right?
Yeah. And there was one in Mario Kart 8 as well that was like that. I don't know if it's the same name, but that was the first one. That was my favorite. I was hoping for that. It was like, especially you got like 24 players. I mean, it could be chaotic. Maybe that is too many players. Maybe you could do some interesting things where it's like only a certain amount of players can play these modes. But still, I was expecting, if anything, there would be like, with this new open world style, there would be some new battle mode that might reflect that a little bit. And I thought it's definitely more than 2. So I was like, hopefully you get some DLC battle modes at some point. It would be nice. I like the costumes a lot. I still hate
they're really cool.
The UI. What are we doing with 100 different characters? scroll through tabs of different costume characters. Like,
Don't
literally, I've had it so many times where I'm
goodness.
like, where is this one costume? They're all over the place of this one character.
Also, you press the sort button. That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
I can't ever make sense of what I was like. What?
I was like, oh,
This
sword.
anything.
Maybe a sword will actually condense them. No, because even in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, this is something that people don't do because it makes more sense in a fighting game. You're the unique characters at least, but you can even in that you can make the Echo Fighters combine into one thing if you want. Here you got multiple different costumes and they're all separate in different spots. You're just scrolling through. It's crazy.
I do not understand why they just don't have the roster, and then when you click on them, it's like you get to select which one. You know, like if you want a costume.
Nintendo, they've been doing that for decades in fighting games, and Nintendo still doesn't know. You know, you can just make an alternate costume. You click on the character,
or press like a toggle. There's like a toggle button to like scroll through it.
You gotta wait for Switch 3 Welcome Tour for them to introduce that mechanic. I was like, oh, now we can condense different costumes.
Oh wow! Oh my gosh!
It's just chaos. Amazing. And it's like actually really obnoxious when it's like should be so cool to have all these different characters, different costumes, but it's like, damn, you gotta scroll through all this. I still think they should have had costumes for the little minion guys, you know.
Yeah.
And weird variants in the amount of costumes that different characters have. That's why it's like people are like, maybe there's a DLC for Donkey Kong and Pauline or something because they got like 1 or 2 costumes each, whereas like the other characters have like 6, and it's like it's very weird. Like Donkey Kong's new, like you got a new game coming out and you got one other costume, and it's not even the thing that you see him advertise as wearing in that game. Like the suspenders aren't even a thing. So
okay, that's weird. That is weird.
But it's a lot of fun.
It is still fun though. I think all of the tracks are really cool because there's a lot of ones that are like they're named a thing, and then they ultimately are like actually a reference to another stage in Mario Kart history. There's also some interesting plays at like combinations of tracks. Like some tracks are like Koopa Beach is literally Koopa Beach from the Super Nintendo, and it's super cool because it's like they made it like this. I know I've talked about this with you before, but they made it like this cool like beach rave, like a Rio beach rave type thing. It's so fun to just like do that like quick little 5-lap thing that they just like Super Mario Kart in ages past.
And then they have ones like Beach, which are like really fully remixed versions of other tracks.
Totally. I love you do a lap and then you come through it and you're like, oh, and now we're going somewhere else now. We're going somewhere entirely different. It's so cool. It's so cool to see them do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm all here for more DLC. If you give us some cool stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Not just like hear more tracks, like some new battle modes, something like that.
Something to keep it stirring. More variation in terms of the multiplayer is always a good thing.
I mean, more stuff to do in the open world would be nice. That's not a very Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
To do like to really reinvent a mode that they have. They don't usually do stuff like that, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, they're very much like it speaks for itself. There it is.
We stand by the product. This is what it is. You want to go in there and take pictures with your friends. Everybody's doing it. Yeah.
Everyone is doing it. But
so then there's just that and Welcome Tour really. So other than that, I'm like I'd never actually used NSO at all on the Switch, so I started with Switch 2. I upgraded so I could use that, and I was dabbling in some Super Nintendo games. I played a little bit of Super Metroid. I played through WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro games on the Game Boy Advance. I just played through the whole thing.
Cool.
Cool. And Yeah, so I've been having fun with that. And one of these days, I want to go through all the Mario parties. I'm glad the first 3 Mario parties are all in there. Really,
that's something I love. Yeah,
I really wish to get some more games in the mix, though. There's some ones I would love to see in there that aren't yet. That's cool.
Got my N64 controller. I have yet to pick up the GameCube one, but I'll do that at some point. I have all of those. The only one I don't have is the Sega Genesis one, because I'm like, do I care that much about a Sega Genesis controller for the Switch? Probably not.
Be cool to have. Yeah, hopefully they add more. It's funny how the UI of the NSO is just like, we're just chucked these box arts and into a big amalgamation, and some of them are like different sizes. You go onto like one of them and it's just like one big box art, and then the others are in different rows. Just chuck them in there, and some really weird random picks in there, and then it's like, oh, but we don't have this one. That's interesting. So,
yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff on there, and that kind of makes it sort of fun in its own way.
Yeah,
but most of the big hits are all in there, throughout, depending on whatever library that you're looking for. But
yeah, as someone who I really love the Mario RPGs, I think I still have to play the Mario and Luigi games, so that'll probably be the way I play Superstar Saga. That's one I've been eyeing up for sure. But
my that's my friend Josh's. That's one of his Gents Challenge games. Got that coming up.
And other than that, I've been throwing in some different Switch games. I played a game called Citus Alpha. Do you know what that is?
I feel like I've heard that name, but I don't know anything about it.
It's like a weird rhythm game. And I want to ask Blink about it, probably, because he likes rhythm games. I don't know if he's played it. He's likely to, but it's just weird. And I need like an explanation for like what the hell is going on with this game, because it's just the most confusing thing.
I feel like I've heard either him or Pete talk about it. I've one or the other. I feel like I've heard that name through one of them. I don't think it's been at a Games Done Quick. I could be wrong, but I feel like one of them.
It's pretty cool. It's just weird. There's weird things about it where it's like, weirdly, there's like a story mode that goes along with it, but it's essentially you're playing through songs, and then you unlock like a weird piece of lore that you can go to a different tab and like read through lore. And it's something about like humans being transferred into robot bodies, and it's like some futuristic type shit, and you never really get a full story, and it just kind of ends with some vague stuff, and it's just a weird vibe. The menu, even when you go into the menu, it's like a weird, and there's like some weird translation stuff in there to where it's like not perfect English, but even the menu is like confusing, like what mode is the actual mode I should be playing, and then it's just weird. It's a weird vibe. It's kind of cool. But then you go in, and I'm like confused by some of the tracks. Like, are these like licensed things that I don't know about? Because they almost feel like they are with how they're presented, but I don't know. They could be things I don't know. But you'll go from like weird, like a lot of it's like electronic music, but then you'll have weirdly like super upbeat, like chibi music, and then there's like a retro collection of like chiptune sounding music, and it's like just weird, kind of cool vibes, kind of chill, but then just it gets weird. So I just need an explanation. I know that this is kind of like there were previous games in the series, and this is some sort of
I'm just doing some like quick lookup about this game. I'm trying to see like what the like if I see any of the like tracks or anything on here.
I just don't know. I don't know if it's like pre-existing music or if it's original music. I would have no idea. But a lot of it seems like the way it's presented, like the images they show, it's like this seems like a license. Like we're seeing the same characters in a couple of different tracks, in a collection of tracks, and like I have no idea what I'm playing, but I'm just here for it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of this is I don't know. This is one of those games where it's like this is more for the hardcore rhythm game people.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I love rhythm games. There is a level of knowledge to which they know so much more about the general design of charts and the general, like, this is this person's song and they designed this chart to match up with this part of this song this particular way, that they crafted the song specifically for this game. And it's like, I don't know how you know any of that, and I don't know where to find any of that information. That's
in terms of the style, the gameplay style, I would describe it as like similar to theater rhythm, in that there's like there's dots that appear, and then you do different, like, you either tap or hold, or like you hold the L and R button for different things. And the one thing I appreciated about it, at least, was that when I do rhythm games, I don't like to do really hard difficulty. I like a decent challenge, but I don't like the crazy notes flying rapid fire. But in this game, it's just easy or hard. So I just did easy, but it can get difficult. But the game is very lenient with the button presses. It's not like a lot of rhythm games where if you like click off of a note, it'll count against you. It's like, no, you can kind of, once the notes start coming, you kind of just spam the button sometimes and it'll just work out. So for better or for worse. But because some of that I would see being really annoying if I had to be as precise as it's like just showering down notes. I haven't even tried hard yet, so I don't know what that looks like. But it's I mean, if you're like rhythm games, you probably like it. It's a very interesting collection of music, mostly like electronic focused, but some weird deviations in there. And then the last thing I'll say is that I was playing Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, the Switch 2 edition. So I decided to pick that up. I played through Fantasy Life on the 3DS, and I really liked it back in the day. And so this one's great. I think it's solid. It's very easygoing. You know, it's pretty simple stuff, but it's pretty chill, and I like it. So I'll probably be playing this through. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I wanted stuff to play on my Switch 2. Even like I bought Hollow Knight, you know, from the Switch eShop, just so I can play it. You know, I need more games to play it on the go and whatnot. So
I've been considering picking up. I know game keycard stuff, all that junk, but I have still been considering picking up that Raito remastered on the Switch 2. But I don't know if I want to pick up that version or if I want to pick up like a PlayStation 5 version of it. So be like, well, what I probably am definitely going to do, what I'm definitely going to do is at some point I want to pick up Cyberpunk on the Switch. And I bet it's interesting because there's apparently been reports that most third-party games have not been selling particularly well on the Switch 2. But then you look at the titles and it's like, well, of course they haven't been. Most of them are games that have been out for like years and years. Like Yakuza 0 again. Well, who asked?
That's the Nintendo tried and true.
That game is beloved. Like that's like one of the. Everyone says that if you're gonna play a Yakuza game, make it that one. If you only want to play one, make it that Yakuza 0. But also, who asked? Who asked it to be on Switch 2?
Well, Nintendo always does this. They did it on the Wii U, and they did it on the Switch, where it's like, here's a game that you've already played 5 times on other systems. But maybe you can get a Mario hat, you know? Something like that. It's like Elder Scrolls Skyrim with Link's shield.
Whoa, amazing. Cyberpunk is kind of a marvel because they did specify that no, we are going to be putting on a Switch cartridge, not one of the game key cards. We're going to fit that whole game on that cartridge, and it's like, cool. That's pretty great. And from what I understand, it runs pretty well.
Yeah, I've heard that.
All things considered. So,
that's the biggest thing for me. Is like when I was at launch, I was like, I would have grabbed a couple other games if they were there. But I see Mario Kart World, and then I see Hogwarts Legacy, which I just played last year on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I see like Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. Like, okay, maybe, but I could play that on another system. There's the new Rune Factory. There's there's Slim Pickens. It's like it's all on other systems. Cyberpunk, which I have on PlayStation 4 that I haven't played. So yeah.
So I don't know. Interesting times. I mean, that Donkey Kong Bonanza, I've been trying to keep away. Honestly, I wanted to keep away from anything relating to the direct that they had for it recently, but stuff has leaked through. That's okay. All it's done is made me more excited for the game. So I'm like, it looks great. It looks really, really great.
I did watch the direct, so I mean,
I
was always gonna play it. It's one of those things where it's like, do I need to watch this? Doesn't really, if anything, it'll spoil some surprises, but yeah. So what do you know then? To confirm.
Pauline. The Pauline is like a main character, and there's like a lot of voice acting, or it seems like there's a decent amount of voice acting from what we've been shown.
Is it a known thing? Like, does this make sense to people? Like, just looking at this, that DK is with a young Pauline. Does that just make sense?
Yeah. So this is, I guess it's just, is this supposed to be like a prequel? I guess.
But do we remember what happens in the original Donkey Kong? Do you remember their relationship in that game?
Yes.
He kidnaps her ass and goes climbing up the freaking thing.
Yeah.
Well, how do we get from here to there?
Here's the thing. Here's what I want. I want this game to end like that. I think that would be amazing. It's Mario's misunderstanding. No, it's a misunderstanding.
It's like Wicked.
It's a misunderstanding.
It's like Wicked of Donkey.
Yeah. I think that would be cool.
Maybe
not this game, because Pauline's still kind of young. She looks like she's a little girl, basically.
She's a little girl. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would make sense to me, is you'd have to go all out to justify that, because literally you go to Donkey Kong, it's just him grabbing Pauline and climbing up. Him grabbing Pauline and climbing up. and then we go, oh, suddenly this is the origin story of that? It's a very weird vibe, It's just Donkey Kong and a young Pauline, knew her since she was young, and then goes on to just be kidnapping her. What's the misunderstanding? Like, it seems pretty clear to me in the Donkey Kong game what he's doing, but how do we?
Well, I don't know. The misunderstanding, I guess, is just that it's interpreted that way by Mario. Like, oh, I need to save the. Oh no!
But like Pauline actually likes it.
She's actually. Yeah, it's like, well, he's actually saving her from who he thinks is a threat. Yeah.
But kind of weird now with the way the Donkey Kong Bonanza's. It doesn't seem like she's just like, save me. She's like an active participant.
Yeah, she also is screaming help in Donkey Kong. You can see the little speech bubble.
Help! So. Oh God, I'm going to die! Help! But Mario got it twisted. It's just bizarre, right? It's like, is this actually like, are we doing like a
maybe it's just a new continuity
split timeline? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, split timeline, Zelda split timeline. Here we go.
But like,
there's 3 timelines, the Mario timelines. Here it is.
Are Nintendo gonna come in talking about this game and completely rewrite history, like complete revisionist history? Like, Donkey Kong Pauline, they've always been best of buds.
I'm trying to remember, because New Donk City in Mario Odyssey had like a little reference to the original Donkey. Well, it was a big reference. The whole thing was a reference to.
Yeah.
To
that's true. She is a singer in New Donk City.
Yeah.
So what's the canon here? What's going on?
Yeah, what's the canon? Is that what we're? That's kind of what I was wondering. Is that what we're playing with? Are we playing a little bit with like the New Donk City? So this, because I think the theory is that the Mario Odyssey team worked on this. Game, that they're kind of the brains behind it.
I like how we have to theorize this too. It's so stupid.
Well, we'll know when the game comes out, because we'll see all the developers attached to it, and then we can kind of figure that out from there. But yeah, I don't know. It looks great. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing it for sure.
I just want to know, is she okay?
I think she's okay. I think she's
she
okay.
fine? Like when we get to New Donk City and she's singing, it's like she under duress? I don't know.
She's good. She's good. She
is
seems
she
good.
doing it willingly, or is it like Donkey Kong putting it on like she has to do this?
It's like Donkey Kong is like a mob boss or something. He's like Kingpin behind the scenes. He's forcing her to.
It's just weird how now it's like, Pauline and Donkey Kong go hand in hand. It's like, yeah, no, it's not like a wholesome relationship. Just had me thinking.
Yeah.
And also weird that like we're now, so now this Donkey Kong, is like, so is this Donkey Kong canonically the younger version of original Donkey Kong?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
It's very confusing. Are we gonna get Donkey Kong timeline explanation or what? The Bananza Storia, the Donk Storia,
the the Donkey Historia.
Yeah, these are the things I think about. So I'm looking forward to it, though.
The Concordance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else you've been playing, or what? That's about it, right?
So I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. Started playing Baldur's Gate 3 with my friends.
Really?
It's been great.
Wow.
Game is super good. It's one of those games where it's like I've seen some stuff about the game. I saw a lot more of it like back when the game was kind of coming out originally. So a couple years ago now. But the it's kind of the joke is that everyone's like really very attractive in the cast. And it was funny though because like me actually getting to meet all of these people, all the different characters throughout the game, all the I don't remember what they call them. It's like their background, legacy, something background, the origin characters. Maybe that's what they're called. I don't know. They're all the pre-made playable characters that they made for the game. And throughout most of it, it's just like anytime anyone shows up, I'm like, oh no, they're really hot. It's like literally everyone, literally every single character are like, oh no, he's really hot. This is a problem. And it's like, oh no, she's hot. This is a problem. So
no,
I have I have a lot of options in terms of a romanceable character. I'm like, man,
and you can romance anything.
Everybody's
in that game,
cool. Right? Well, there's one character that turns into a bear, so
that's what I heard.
you can do that, yeah.
Just like striking vipers.
Striking Viper, it kind of is, yeah. But yeah, no, it's been great. I'm doing what's known as a Dark Urge playthrough.
Yep.
It's just, I think it's something that they added in later on. I don't know if it launched with the game, but it's basically like a the way my friends phrase it is like, if you're gonna play the game only once, you should make your playthrough this, because it adds extra story bits that if you're just playing like a heroic sort of version of the game or a heroic path, it doesn't have that sort of story elements.
So is this something you select in the game, or is it just the way you're playing the game? Okay.
Yep, you select it from when you're creating the character. So the Dark Urge is like basically it's some presence that has some weird hold over you. So this is no spoilers because the very beginning of the game, everyone gets one of the Githyanki, the Illithids, they basically implant something into your brain behind your eye, and these things will eventually turn you into gifts. So it will they'll basically turn you into like gifts. Yeah, they'll turn you into gifts. So you'll be a endlessly playing GIF of your favorite thing.
That's dark.
No, they weren't. No, what? No, what is it? It's not Githyanki. What is it they turn you into?
You got me. You could say anything.
They'll turn you into mind flayers, basically. So, an illithid. That's what they
Sure.
are. They're in D&D. They're like big tentacled monsters things. So you basically lose all free will, and you submit to the kind of hive mind of the illithid. So all the origin characters, including you, all get implanted with that, and so you have to find some way to overcome that. That's kind of the main quest right now. But the Dark Urge also gives you there's a presence that is constantly telling you to do horrible things to anyone and everyone. Like basically telling you, hey, you should kill that person. And you get like special cutscenes and things like surrounding it that if you did not choose that as a character background, you wouldn't have. So it's kind of neat that they added a lot of that stuff. I'm pretty sure they added that into the game after launch. So kind of cool that they added something kind of major into the game like that. So, so I'm doing that kind of a playthrough, and it's been really great. It's been really fun so far. So
I want to really experience the game myself, so I haven't really watched much or anything. But I am fascinated by how the game works, like playing by yourself versus with people, and how that interacts with the story and everything. Because from what I can tell you, there's a lot of choice involved and deviations. So I don't actually know how that functions in a game sense when you have multiple people involved. Like, how does that work?
So, my friends are trying to let me spearhead most conversations because I've never played the game before, and they have played it multiple times at this point. But there are times, so whoever initiates a conversation, they're going to be the one responsible for making the decisions. The interesting thing with that is that sometimes that can be at a disadvantage to you because, say, you initiate a conversation and you're talking to somebody where one of the prompts is like, okay, well, now I have to make an investigation or an intelligence-based roll. I have a -1 to intelligence. So that roll is not going to go very well when I rolled the dice. There are some other bonuses that other characters can give you. They'll help, but already rolling at a negative means that you're at a slight disadvantage to doing that. But say I talk to the same character and something is charisma based, it's insight, which is wisdom, or some other kind of intimidation, which can be a charisma sort of based role. There's if it's something you're really good at, that will then, it's like if you initiate the conversation, you're doing this, and it's like if there's something that you need to roll for as part of the conversation to keep it going in a positive direction, then then you'd be able to do that. So some of it is fun. It can be fun or funny with different characters initiating conversation. But I mean, even still, like even though they're letting me spearhead most of it, they still do go off and sometimes initiate conversations, and then when that happens, you can usually just go to wherever the character is and then listen in to the conversation.
Interesting.
And that's how Divinity Original Sin 2 worked as well, where it's like whoever can initiate conversation with whoever, and then you can go listen in to stuff going on. But yeah.
Because when I play, I imagine I'll just be playing it by myself, but it's interesting to me. So can everybody be romancing different people? It's like,
I don't know how.
Can everybody romance the same person?
I don't necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that. Maybe. I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna guess
you romance
no,
each other?
But
I don't know.
No, not really. So, because you're the created character, the player character, the ones that you make for the game, are more or less like blank slates that you just make decisions for.
Mm.
They're essentially the stand-in for you as the player. But that being said, we're going in the extra mile. We're playing this game and we are doing everything in character.
Yeah, you mentioned
So
that. Yeah.
when we're talking and stuff, we're all doing it in character. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to go around and like even in conversations with NPCs and stuff, we'll do it like as we're legitimately talking to them. So that's
Nice.
been a lot of fun to do.
So if you finish that this year, that'll be 2 points right there for you. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to do that because this game is very long. So I don't necessarily know if we're gonna do that or not, considering we only play on Sunday nights. And sometimes we can only play for like 3 hours or so. So that's gonna be tough. But
yeah,
we'll try.
Yeah, we'll see then. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, so aside from that, movies, I've been dabbling in a couple movies, not watching as many as I have in previous couple months, where I was really going all out. But I've been trying to go through the How to Train Your Dragons so that I can maybe watch the live action one.
Great movies.
So I watched the first two. I just have the first three, and then either's remake. Did you watch the remake yet?
I have not. No. Thinking about going to see it, but I also wanted to go see Elio. I had wanted to go see the Phoenician Scheme, but that's out of theaters around me now. So
yeah, I actually went to see that, and then I fell asleep for 90% of it, and so my initial plan was to watch it again today, but I might try to do it like on Wednesday before work because it is still around in theaters around me. But I do want to highlight the one movie I really loved that I watched was Bring Her Back. It's a horror movie. It's really good. It's one of the most gruesome, like hard to watch horror movies that I've seen in some time. And it's like a universal takeaway I've heard from a lot of people is it's like one of the most difficult watches, and it's like sticks with you for a little while.
Bring Her Back. What's it? When did it come out?
A couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago.
Oh, it literally just came out. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's really good. That's all I can really say. The only warning is that, you know, a lot of the makes it hard to watch is that the people at the center of like the horror unfolding are children for most of it. So it's a lot with children and it can be tough. But so it's definitely not a movie for everyone, but if you're like into horror like that, and you're if you can deal with it, then yeah, it's an excellent one of my favorites. One of my favorites this year. I think I probably have it like my second favorite behind Sinners for new movies this year so far. So.
Oh, that was the one made by those YouTubers.
Yes, that was the thing that blew my mind after it. I didn't know that. Because I actually used to watch Raka Raka on YouTube.
Yeah, because they also made Talk to Me, and I remember that movie got a lot of buzz, and it was actually... I remember hearing people say that it was actually really good.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, Raka Raka. I actually have a video like on my YouTube channel from like 10 years ago at this point of me reacting to one of their videos just randomly. It's like Ronald McDonald Playhouse Slaughter or something. Those are the kind of videos they would do, or like these crazy gratuitous, like violent skits and whatnot.
Yep.
And then to learn, wow, they made this really amazingly high quality film, and also the previous one I haven't watched. So, well done.
So, wow, that's pretty cool. That, hey, don't let your dreams just be dreams, you know. Go out and do something. Make movies. I guess if you can, if you've got the means.
That's right. What you got? Anything else that
I haven't really been watching a whole lot of anything. I've been watching some trash anime that has been fun, but Mountain Monsters, you know, still working our way through that. Me and the Housemates. Man, the show is horrible, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the worst TV I've ever watched, and it's so good. I'm trying to think if there's really anything else. Oh, well, I did want to mention. This is sort of back to games, but this has sort of encouraged me to. I think maybe one of the next games I'm going to challenge on my list will be Stellar Blade, because currently Nikkei is having their. They've just like done a bunch of since the 2.5 year anniversary. They've done. Let's see. There was another collab they did just before. Oh, there was like a baseball collab that they did with like the San Francisco Giants. Sure. So there was like an in-game event for based on like baseball, and now there's a Stellar Blade crossover event that's going on. And I think even if you played Stellar Blade, I think you can get like some of the characters or character costumes, or maybe it might be the characters from Nikkei in the game. That they show up for some like special event thing. But the event in Nikkei is like really, really good. It's like super high production value, and it's like, well, of course it is, because this is a very incestuous collaboration, because it's just the same company that's making it. Same company that makes Nikkei also made Stellar Blade. So yeah, so I might try to make my way through that next. I know that game's like not super, super long, so that could be pretty reasonable. Something to kind of put my time into while to de-stress from the stresses of trying to figure out where I'm going to live, because I don't know the answer to that yet, and I have about 2 months left to figure that out. So yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else from the last month that stands out. That there's probably so much that we could have touched on.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go see, in addition to some of the other ones I wanted to go see, I do want to go see Elio. We may somehow do a review on it.
It's possible.
Might be able to fit that in. So
it's possible, because we were saying off air that it was one I initially didn't have much interest in, just based on the trailers. Like, it wasn't any rush to see it, but then I have heard good things, from the limited things that I've seen. I saw just a couple Letterboxd ratings from people I follow. They were both very high. It was like 4 and 4.5.
Yeah.
And then like some headline that was like, "Is Pixar back?" And then just earlier today, I saw a YouTube video that was titled like, "Is Elio the worst Pixar movie?" like, oh, we're back.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that, and I was like, yeah, I think that, yeah. Thanks for the clickbait. Like.
I know now which one.
It's like, yeah, yeah, but that's kind of it. It just raises an interesting thing, because it's like it has not performed particularly well, and I just wonder if, I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, what was the last original DreamWorks film? Like a new franchise that they made?
The Wild Robot.
Again, I'm trying to. That was DreamWorks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was fairly successful, wasn't it?
I have to imagine. I mean, look up the box office, but I mean, critically acclaimed at the very least, or award-winning.
Yeah, but Disney in particular has been really struggling with like original films, like brand new, like original, not based on anything, not a part of a franchise yet, films. Because I mean, even on the channel, we reviewed Wish, we reviewed what was it? What was the other one we did? Oh, well, I guess we didn't review Strange World, but that was a Disney animated film.
Yeah,
that was like a huge flop, massive flop. Like, I forget that movie exists most of the time.
Exactly.
Then we reviewed Wish, and that was pretty dreadful. But then, so like with that, it's like, yeah, Disney Animation itself is already kind of struggling in that regard, but that's why they're doubling down on like, sequels. We got Zootopia 2, we've got Frozen 3. It's like, because they know that that's going to print money, they know that's going to make money, and they're right. I'm going to go see them. Yeah. But like, the thing is like, why like, that makes sense that those are established properties that can make sense that people are going to want to see that, but like, why are the original films having such trouble finding footing? Because like, it's not just them, it's Pixar too. I don't think a lot of the original films haven't really done all that well. I don't think Elemental did particularly well. Lightyear definitely didn't do well, even though I guess that's technically is tied to Toy Story. This is not doing well. This movie is apparently had a budget somewhere in the league of $250 to $300 million, which is insane. I'm trying to think of like, but there's some of their other ones. It's like, and then you saw like Inside Out 2, and it's like, yeah, I made like $1 billion because everyone loves Inside Out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
wreck breaking records out the ass.
Yeah, and it's like, it's tough because it's like, what do they need to do? Like, what is it that they can do, or like, what do they need to do to like break out again? Because it's like they really seem to be in this weird funk where it's like they have a new idea, a new IP, like a new original film, and it's an idea. People seem to really think it's great, but no one goes to see it.
Well,
and it's weird
it
to
depends.
me. And I don't know if the problem is just like, is it a marketing problem? I think it's multifaceted, because I think it's marketing. I think it's like fatigue in some ways. I almost want to say, like, it seems like a weird thing to blame, but like the art style of a lot of their newer films has not. It all kind of feels the same, even when they're distinct. Like Elemental, notwithstanding, Elemental looks like completely different, and that was such a cool looking movie. I feel like as time has gone on, I just feel like I appreciate that movie more and more for what it is. Because like it stands out against things like Luca or Soul, or like I'm talking in terms of visuals.
Yeah, well, I agree. The Pixar movies are very samey, especially when compared to The Field now, because now we have the Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Wild Robot. We have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. All these really visually striking animations that stand out so much more. Mm-hmm. You look at them side by side, it's like, oh, that one looks boring in comparison. And just for me,
and then what was the cat one that came out last year? The independent film that won Best Animated. Flow. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it depends, because I don't know if I will like this movie or not, Elio. But if I do, then it's definitely a marketing thing, because the trailer did not give me the impression of a movie I would like. It just seemed like maybe childish, not really my cup of tea. That's my impression I got. So I'd be glad to know that I'm wrong about that. But then there's definitely a disconnect in how it's presented. It doesn't seem like the most compelling movie from what I've seen. So
is it like a title thing too, like this weird, I don't know. I remember like always feeling like there was this real genuine excitement when it's like, oh, they're announcing a new Pixar film. Like even Elemental felt kind of exciting, but like some of their other ones just haven't had that same sort of like buzz around.
It might be just a little bit of fatigue, and there's not the same reverence for the name anymore. You know, Pixar doesn't hold the same weight that it used to, just because there have been a couple of flops. Disney doesn't hold the same weight it used to, because there were a couple of flops in recent time. Might be that kind of thing. And so it's like, all right, if we bring out a movie that everybody knows, and we know it was good for the first one at least, then we can bring people there.
Well, there's been some scuttlebutt that they might be reintroducing two-dimensional animation again. There's one rumor.
Who scuttled that butt?
I don't know. Scuttlebutt.
That's the scuttlebutt I like to hear. Wow.
Yeah.
Don't tease me like that.
I know. I hope that I want that to be real. I was like, I kind of don't believe you. But
what is this?
I don't know. I just read it somewhere.
Okay.
I read it on Reddit. It's on Reddit. I don't know.
I believe it.
I read it somewhere. I don't know.
Reddit.
I don't know. It was somewhere.
Yeah, some guy on Reddit said it.
It's a Reddit post. There was a Reddit post about it. No, I don't know. I don't know where it originally originated from, but
that would be amazing.
Hold on.
If we could trick ourselves, that's what I was saying. Like, if we can live action ourselves back into 2D animation somehow, they work themselves backwards into it. That'd be amazing. Can't wait for Moana live action though. Still
I mean,
coming.
that's probably going to
it
make
is.
money. How that's actually interesting. How is Lilo and Stitch tracking in terms of box office?
I mean,
I'm sure it's
primed to be
making
the
billions.
best movie of the summer, at least.
$1.12 billion. That's insane.
Who?
Or maybe that's the franchise as a whole. Because it's at $911 million worldwide budget. Worldwide gross.
That's a big budget.
That's a big budget. It's $1 billion movie. That's insane.
Yeah, it always was going to be.
That's insane. It was always going to be. Yeah.
I want to just re-release the same movie again and again and see how long it takes for it to not be an immediate success for Lilo and Stitch.
Here's speaking of Reddit, there's just somebody on it's like, oh, my local AMC has a 6:26 show of Lilo and Stitch at 6:26 p.m. That's kind of cute. 626 day. But yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to like consider and ruminate on, because it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see like audiences' tastes completely like just go after the same safe thing over and over again.
I know.
When they're but while simultaneously, like, there's, I mean, I get that there's two different groups at play here, but the group that's complaining that there's no original movies then don't go see the original movies. It's like, okay,
well,
like, there's
more so it's the people who complain about the unoriginal movies still go to see the unoriginal movies, and that's us, and we'll do it every time. You know, we'll be there.
We will. Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon is interesting because that's one, I just recently started watching them, you know, and I've heard that it's like essentially a one-to-one remake.
Shot-for-shot remake. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I've also heard that as well.
So I've seen some people review it really low for that reason. Some people review it pretty high just because, it's still How to Train Your Dragon. I heard one person say it was like the best live-action remake they've ever seen, like live-action adaptation they've ever seen. So I don't know. I don't know where that one falls exactly, but that was definitely that's gonna have a second one in a couple of years. So
yeah. Well, it's interesting. I think in order for them to really do that, they definitely need to. I think the movie needs to continue to succeed at the box office. I think this past weekend was pretty good for it, though, because it still beat out like Leo and like a couple other. There was another movie that came out past weekend that I don't remember, but
you see it's slated for 2027 at least. The next How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah. But yeah. It's interesting. I mean, that was kind of a neat thing too, because the director was the same director that did the animated film.
And also, kind of interesting because Chris Sanders initially co-directed the first How to Train Your Dragon, and Chris Sanders plays Stitch. He directed the original Lilo and Stitch, and then now we have a live-action remake of with Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon the same year. It's pretty wild. And he just did The Wild Robot. He directed that last year. Yeah. So pretty wild couple of years.
Busy man. Busy guy for sure.
But so I would love to see a new renaissance for Disney, you know. Get back in your bag, you know. I want people to have the same reverence for the name they used to, or me to have the same excitement.
Get better songwriters, I'll tell you that right now. Get better songwriters. Yeah. I mean, it's like, you got Lin, but unfortunately, you know, at this point, I feel like they need to just let Lin have the whole reign of the whole thing. He had that with Mufasa, technically. And Mufasa's music wasn't great, but you also then can't have people who are just trying to copy his style, because then you end up with Wish, and the music in that was, I would say, is probably worse than Mufasa.
Definitely worse than Mufasa.
Yeah.
Don't put that on my brother.
Don't put that on my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I just, if you can find me a source for this 2D Disney scuttlebutt, I would love to hear. But
I know. I think there was a remark that I think somebody at Disney made that could be hinting at that as a possibility. So I don't know if
they're
that's
just like, we might fuck around and just go do some 2D animation again. That would be big.
Jared Bush, who's the CCO at Disney, said, "I love 2D." He said at a festival, adding with a wink, "Right now we have 2D artists who are doing some bonkers, amazing things. I'll leave it at that." They also did just recently get Ron Clements back at Disney. Like they hired him to do for something. I don't know if it was for just as a as kind of like a supervisory role or what. But Clements and Musker were basically not completely solely responsible, but prime director duo responsible for most of the films that you love in the Disney Renaissance. The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet, not post-Renaissance, Princess of the Frog, and Moana.
Wow. So, give it to me. I mean, that would be it. I mean, I think Disney need that. They need a shake up.
They need something. They need something. Something's got to give.
Big swing, and that would be it. I take 2D Disney over 3D any day. Because it's kind of funny how they found themselves so far removed from 2D animation when literally Japan is still going strong with 2D animation. Was a billion dollar industry of anime, and like it's like no one's ever looked at anime and been like, man, this is like outdated as shit. We needed this in 3D animation on this.
The thing is, like, and this is something that anime fans need to. Here's the thing: anime has been incorporating CG, and it was bad for a while, but it's gotten really, really good in the last like 4 or 5 years, to the point of when it's incorporated, I get excited because people actually know how to, like, animators actually know how to utilize it properly. They finally kind of learned how to implement it in a way that's satisfying and is really cool, as opposed to like 2016's Berserk, where it was horrible because it was the 3D CG, and this is like around the time when they were trying to implement that for like a whole series, and it just does not look good at all. Yeah. But now when they implement it, it's like they're able to, at least the good shows are able to kind of seamlessly work between like scenes that utilize it and scenes that don't. Sometimes the whole show is animated in it, and it's done in sort of using the strengths of 2D animation. It's like both of them are really good at different things, and they've I think a lot of studios and animators are like have done a really good job at like understanding like what the strengths are of them. And that's something that like it would be nice to see incorporated in the West in something like, and I think that's kind of why Spider-Verse did so well too, because like that is all 3D CG, but like it works off the strength of how 2D animation looks and feels, and like it's such a stunning movie to watch. Like really, like both of them, both those films. So yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see them kind of go back to basics and remember both their old roots and their Renaissance roots.
And just bring it back, just bring out some like some bangers of like new 2D animated Disney movies. That'd be great.
Yeah, it would be great.
But I'll believe it when I see it. If anything, if anything, it's like maybe he's hinting at they'll drop some shit on Disney Plus. Throw us a bone.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we got the 2D animators working on some real good shit. Wait till you see it. Yeah.
On Disney Plus, baby.
Only on Disney Plus. I say we get into the comments. And,
let's go for it.
Well, let's look back on the videos released this past month as well. At the end of every podcast that we do, we look back on the videos from the last month, and then we'll read your comments. So since the last episode, we released Survivor Token Chains episode 10, Tyson Gets Blindsided, Lilo and Stitch 2002 review, Tarqaron All-Stars 6 Survivor Simulation, Lilo and Stitch 2025 review, Survivor Token Chains episode 11, Sierra Bullies Little Debbie, Super Mario Galaxy review, Survivor Token Chains episode 12, Reaction Conjugal Visit, Something Old, Something New Gents Challenge with Tara, Survivor Token Chains episode 13, Coach on Exile, Bargain Bin, June 2025, Zach's Choice, The Life of Chuck review, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour review, Survivor Token Chains finale, Survivor Token Chains reunion, Choo Choo Charles review.
That's right.
And I think that might be it for now. So of those, what's your favorite video from the past month of videos we've done? I know it is for me. It's easy for me.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Switch Welcome Tour?
No, it's not.
I didn't think so. So I think the Something Old Something New Gents Challenge was a lot of fun. I really liked having Tara on that. It's between that and Super Mario Galaxy, the review.
Okay.
Talking about Super Mario Galaxy in depth.
Galaxy's great.
I think.
My favorite video by far, is Coach on Exile, baby. Coach on Exile.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, of course. I glazed over it. I glazed over it. My eyes. Because I was also seeing, because we also did we did that simulation, baby. We did our full on Survivor simulation.
Yeah, you can see you falling asleep before our very eyes.
Me falling asleep. We falling asleep. That was a late recording session.
An iconic finish to that season, though. I gotta say,
it was quite the finish. The photo finish, indeed.
The Steve and Grumpy pickaxe wielding duo fire making challenge for the win. Kind of iconic.
The freaking picture you used for me also in the
I was trying my best to stay afloat on that video, bringing it home.
Shadow won the fan favorite award, though. You know that's always
Shadow, the worst performing of the Sonic characters so far.
Yeah.
Previously, Sonic got 3rd place, and Knuckles got 2nd place.
Yeah.
So, and he got like 13th, I think. Shadow.
I just love the fact that it was a fire making competition to win.
It's kind of fitting.
No, that was it was very fitting. Yeah, Coach on Exile. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, that was just like what. The episode was like art. It was like high art.
Cinema.
It was so good. Absolute cinema. It really was. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an all-timer. And
all
right, let's read some comments that y'all left for us. All right, first off, on the Tarqaron Podcast, episode 21, All Grown Up. We got a comment from Ari Louie, as he always does, our friend Rusty.
Good lad.
He said, would love to hear how you guys approach the backlog challenge that I created for myself. Yeah, because I was saying that I would kind of like to do something similar to that next year, perhaps, to give us more freedom in how we pick our games, you know? Like maybe like different, like the 2 RPGs, Switch game this long, stuff like that. He said, I don't believe Ryan took the same approach, but to bring closure to how I did that year, I didn't do well at all. I released a backlog video at the beginning of this year, basically returning to that same structure, but with different categories and game selections. Already doing quite a bit better this year. Hey Arnold is timeless, which can't be said for all of the Nickelodeon shows of the era. It's become a bit of tradition for us to watch the Christmas episode where Arnold is paired with Mr. Hyun for Secret Santa.
Win.
Who?
Win.
Such,
Mr. Win. Yeah, it's a Vietnamese name. Yeah.
Such a special episode, but there are several that have Boy Meets World-like life lessons. Jim Lang is also a legend for the music. Great episode as always, gents. Really happy to see the podcast more consistently again.
You speaking my language right there. Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. Yeah, that Mr. Win episode, the Christmas episode is perfect. It's a perfect Christmas episode. Yeah, Jim Lang, amazing. I agree. I think that's kind of why, because Boy Meets World is a common rewatch for me too. Love that show. Yeah, I think that's kind of why I'm been really enjoying Hey Arnold again this time around, because like, oh yeah, this is like, the show is like really good, and like is I also compared it with Arthur a little bit, in terms of like it's sort of, and Doug in a lot of ways, in that they're shows that sort of try to, the lessons are like about like sort of like fostering emotional intelligence in children. So it's like problem solving and like empathy and like really trying to like understand different people's point of views and perspectives. And so it's like, so it's sort of like soft social skills in a way, like sort of like the life lessons that it sort of is helping teach kids. And I love that. I think that's such a wonderful thing. And I don't really know TV shows. I mean, I guess I don't watch a lot of modern children's TV, but I don't know many kids shows that necessarily do that these days. So
yeah. And for the backlog thing, I've been brainstorming on different things we could do, because I kind of like want to make it. I want to make it our own.
We talked off camera about it a lot.
I want to make it our own, because we were saying it's kind of similar vein to the Polykill bingo they do as well. I'd like to make it our own, and I'm trying to think of different ways we could do that, and some more creative categories in the mix and different stuff, and still maybe have an element of like we pick a game for each other or something in the mix as well, like that. So we'll see what we end up with. Still halfway through the year here.
We could do Tarqaron pin the tail on the donkey instead of Polykill bingo.
How does that work?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Okay. On Survivor Token Cheats episode 9, JT's Aura, also Storytime with Coach, Brian Thomas commented that Alec was thinking of Florence Nightingale syndrome.
Yes. Yes, that's it. Wow, I can even remember like what I was trying to say and talk about. Yes, Florence Nightingale syndrome.
What was that in reference to? What did you say about that?
So it's like when you nurse somebody back to health and you fall in love with the person that like takes care of you, nurses you back to health. So Florence Nightingale syndrome is like you fall in love with the nurse that saved you, that like saved your life.
But what was the context in this episode?
The helicopter ride. I think we were referring to it in the intro, possibly. It's about the helicopter ride where what's his name?
Where Joe fell in love with the doctor.
Joe fell in love with the doctor. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
No one talks about that still. People try not to bring that up these days.
What? People don't want to talk about it, but I will. I'm brave enough to talk about it.
Everybody tries to rewrite history, act like it never happened. Joe was all right at home, you know.
Yeah.
On our Lilo and Stitch 2002 review, R.E. Louie comments, "You guys have me feeling all kinds of nostalgic with this review. I remember this movie coming out when I was in 4th grade because there was a friend of mine in my class that always ran around the classroom imitating Stitch's voice. I think a lot of kids probably did this when the film released. I also remember liking the TV show as a kid, but I haven't watched it since. Lauren and Ryan visited Disney World a few years before the film released, and there were animators showcasing drawings of characters from the film and teased the story of an alien coming to Earth and befriending a human. Lauren told me she would tell her friends at school about it, but nobody believed her until the movie actually released in theaters. Also, a recommendation for all the licensed game fans, there's a Lilo and Stitch PS1 game that's essentially a Crash Bandicoot clone. I haven't played it yet, but I have it and
That
might
sounds
need to play it
awesome.
soon." Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I'd never heard of that. I'd love that.
either.
I'd love to try that out.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's a great review as always, gents. We're going to be watching the original Lilo and Stitch movie tonight for sure. P.S. Love that Kirby shirt, Alec.
Kirby shirt was that? I don't remember what one I was wearing
Mm-hmm.
in that. Oh, I think it was the Japanese. I think it was Kirby where it's Kirby Superstar. Is it Kirby Superstar title screen? Or I think it might be Kirby's Adventure title screen.
Kirby.
So Kirby. A lot of those original concept. Yeah, I didn't. That's kind of amazing. I would like to, because I've seen some of the original concept drawings of or like earlier concept drawings of stuff from Lilo and Stitch where people have joked that it's like Stitch isn't even like a character in this. It's just like a blob, and it's like really, really detailed drawings of Nani. You know, I think you can you get the idea of why I was like, yeah, he was spending some quality time on making sure she was good looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on our Lost at Random bargain bin, my brother Dragon Ball Z commented, "I just beat this game. Cool. I got it on sale on PlayStation right after the Switch sale ended. It went on sale for about $5 on PlayStation Store. I definitely think the glitches you guys dealt with were from the Switch performance, because they never had any glitches that I noticed. I found the game very charming and engaging and would recommend seeing it through. I loved the character designs and really had a fun time with the writing and gameplay mechanics. I found the game challenging in parts, but never really difficult. You definitely can't just rely on the sword the whole game through, but once you lock in your playstyle a chapter or two further into the game and find your more personally suited deck, you don't really have to change it up too often, except for maybe a newly unlocked card here or there." There you go. Cool. I still haven't played more Lost in Random since that video.
I haven't either. I've actually been kind of eyeing maybe not finishing the Switch version and maybe moving over to like the PlayStation version. So that might not be a bad idea to do that.
Now or never.
Yeah.
Jump ship. Yeah. I wonder how much it is now. Like, because it was on sale for $5 at one point, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did you hear there's a new Lost in Random roguelike game?
No.
Lost in Random: The Eternal Die just came out recently.
Oh.
A roguelike.
Really?
Yeah. Very random. It was like, right after my brother beat it, I heard about that.
That's a 9 out of 10 on Steam. Yeah, it literally just came out like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty similar scores. OpenCritic has an 87%, Metacritic's 84.79. Other reviews 3.5 out of 5, 8 out of 10. So it's like pretty similar areas. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That sounds interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
That's cool. Also, on Survivor Token Team's episode 9 reaction, we had a comment from Pedro Vieira. I don't think he's commented before. It's the new one. This episode is so funny because the cast was bending over backwards to make sure JT wins when they're still in the game. Like, have some confidence in yourself. That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, I kind of like the Brendan one is kind of more forgivable now that we know he was a millionaire.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. At least no one else said that they want him to get to the end, and like, I want to see him in the end. It wasn't that blatant.
Yeah, I want to see him win.
But yeah, everybody was tripping over themselves to get to get in with JT at the very least. On Survivor Token Cheese episode 11, Sierra bullies Little Debbie. We got at Badath ATTH1S. I hate it because most of these handles are not what people intend as their name, and they just kind of become it if they're not like making videos. It's just like their handle.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they actually want to be called, but they said I'm pretty sure Aaron voted Steven because he sent her to exile and she had a rough time there. Maybe that's the explanation for it. Just a little.
Oh yeah.
Just a little FU for that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Wait, episode 12 reaction conjugal visits. We got a comment from someone with at J_T_money. It says JT
money.
And they said JT aura gets crazier every episode.
It does. It does.
Money. JT money.
It's all the way up to the end of the whole show.
Rogue Merc also commented, "Oh man, next episode is peak campiness. Can't wait." It's talking about the Coach on Exile episode.
Hell yeah, so good.
And he said about
good
the lack
stuff.
of a cutthroat decision with the family visit. No way they were going to fly Eddie George out there and not have him on the show.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's also assuming, I guess they were probably assume that everybody would give their money to Taj anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you can get that option.
Oh, there ain't no way they're going to fly Eddie George out there and have him not be on the show.
On episode 10, Tyson Gets Blindsided, Brian Thomas says, regardless of whether or not Sierra was apparently edited down in terms of being annoying, I still find Tyson's behavior this episode pretty awful and off-putting. My friend and I felt on a recent rewatch that it was borderline misogynistic. Yeah, it's not a good look. Not a good look for Tyson. Yeah, it is like, it feels pretty mean-spirited. I try to take it in jest, even though I don't know that he felt that way when saying it, but I see he was definitely talking down to her like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, she was just an unlikable person that we just never get to see. So what can we do?
On the Something Old, Something New, Gents Challenge with Tara, the Rebel of the Rebellion commented.
Hey.
I do actually have all the Skylanders for the original game. They've just been sitting in a closet for years.
Cool. Well, there you go.
Rusty, Ari Louie commented, we need more of Tara's energy on Tarqaron, throwing shade at Alec for not finishing Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16. Yeah.
Look, if you think I get it bad from my internet friends, it's just my IRL friends. I get it thrown back right back. All the time, trust me.
If you guys ever review ukulele for the channel, I'd love to join you to talk about it. There you go.
That'd be interesting.
A little inside scoop for my games. Blink actually texted me after Zach added us in the Discord and encouraged me to sign up. I suggested that we each pick 4 of the games for new/old that would make our lists. Funny enough, both of my games were games that Blink wanted me to play, while Wolfenstein was something I selected for him. Also, a game I've been wanting him to play for years. I promised him a while back that if he ever played New Order, I would finally tackle the final level in Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair and earn the platinum. So there's a bit of an extended Gents challenge with both of our games. That makes sense.
Well,
it makes sense now
Rusty's
why
gonna have to play that now.
Yeah, why Blink played that one before the iconic 428 Shibuya Scramble.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rusty, that makes sense. Yeah, Blink wanted him to play Ultros, but now Rusty's out on Ultros.
Yeah. He's like, oh, well, I didn't have to be ransomed to that.
Yeah.
How long of a game is that anyway? I don't even think I know. I mean, how long to beat's not perfect, but 10 to 15 hours. I think he said he'd put 5 to 6 hours into it, and he was just like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I've always heard of how hard the Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair final level is.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
So he never actually finished that game? He literally just...
No.
It was that bad. Wow. Okay.
I think I could have swore they added in checkpoints to the game. Like, even... Because I think the thing is, like, you can... if you just do it from, because you can do it from the very beginning of the game, you can try to do it, but it's like a lot harder. So if you go and actually play the levels of the game, it does things to this is just from memory. I could be mischaracterizing this completely, but I think you do things in all the other levels or get abilities and things that basically make that level easier. But I think it is still quite long. I think they did finally, I don't know if doing the other levels adds checkpoints to it, or if they added more checkpoints to it after launch, even after the game came out. Like, so I'm not sure 100% on that one, but
I'm so curious on it because I've heard good things about that one. I've never actually watched any gameplay of it. I have no idea. I've heard it's more of a 2D style, like more akin to Donkey Kong Country than a Rare game, or like the 3D Rare games.
The 3D Rare game, yeah.
The 2D Rare game. But yeah, I'm curious, like what the whole hubbub is about this final level. Is it just really infuriatingly hard? Is it annoying? Is it poorly designed, or is it like grueling? I don't know. But it's gotta be something crazy. I
played some hard Mario levels, I'll tell you that.
It's gotta be something crazy for Rusty not to finish it, though. He's one of the biggest supporters of those games.
Yeah, true that. I was gonna say Blink did finish Wolfenstein: The New Order recently, and he enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. It makes sense why you finished that one before Shibuya Scramble.
It does. Yeah.
On our COD Cash and Delivery review for Chance Time, my brother Chrome Ball Z said I did do the thing and watch this movie, and he gave that cringy
I'm sorry
emoji. Yeah, I saw his review on Letterboxd. We are the 3 reviews on Letterboxd now, each with half a star out of 5. Pretty amazing.
That's really bad.
Yeah, it's rough. We were just talking about the other day, and it blew my mind. He told me that he brought it up to someone at work, and they had seen the movie.
No, I don't believe.
I didn't believe it either. But he said they confirmed a detail in it. It was like, oh, that's the one where the guys were making the weird voice, like in that group, and then like the Wiggles.
The guy plays the horrible harmonica.
Yeah, and then he the guy, I guess at work, pulled it up on his phone. Like, this one? Yeah.
No, that's insane.
What?
Oh yeah, I saw that. What? Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
For those watching, you're not gonna know what that is. It's a movie randomly spun, completely random, from it was on Prime Video. Really bad. It's just really bad, low budget, but yeah, it's like an amateur film. My brother was saying, it's like, feels like a little high school movie. And, and it's like, oh, let's do like a crazy, like, over the top, high pitched voice for this guy, and it's weird. Some weird choices in there.
Very weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Oh man. But he's been doing the rounds on our Tarqaron stuff, because I saw him watch that. He watched Memoir of a Snail, Perks of Being a Wallflower, and he just watched Life of Chuck.
Oh, nice.
Making the rounds on these things. He played Lost in Random. I'm guessing.
Very cool.
I'm guessing you know what time it is. Maybe he's working on something, but
might be.
That's cool. So he endured that. For us.
Yeah. Wow. What a champ.
So we can get a Bonita card. Harmonica guy. Exactly.
That is in my mind for the rest of my life, and I hate it. I hate the fact that I can still hear it.
Survivor Token Sheets episode 13, Coach on Exile. JT Money says, this episode showed us the coach is him.
Coach is him.
So I made some offhand comment about, like, because you said something about him, and I'm like, is he him?
Yeah.
No,
Coach is him.
That's this episode.
Yeah.
Chase Ferrer comments, Coach's entire edit this season just leads up to this beautiful send-off. Everything from his reaction to Debbie's vote-off, to exile, to the challenge, to the reveal of the third vote is just perfect. This is, in my opinion, the greatest episode in Survivor history up to this point and to this day. There you go.
Oh,
and JT
wow.
keeps Coach's jury vote by siding with him. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's a really good point. JT getting Coach's vote. So yeah, the warrior.
Yeah, just another notch right there.
Mm-hmm.
On our The Life of Chuck review, my brother Dragon Ball Z commented, I did just see this weekend an article that said that Mike Flanagan is writing the Clayface movie for DC. He's not directing it, but it is an upcoming product from it, which is interesting. Huh.
That is very interesting.
How about that?
Why? That's bizarre. I mean, I have to talk to my friend Josh about that. I don't know how much Flanagan he's consumed. Well, other than Oculus, I'm positive that he's seen that, but I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. Lastly, a couple comments on the finale of Survivor Tocantins, which is the last video uploaded at the time of recording this. Rogue Merc commented, I don't even agree that he started great. He's talking about Steven's final tribal performance. He said, I don't even agree that he started great. You don't share achievements. You share credit for things the jury won't like and take solo credit for achievements. If you went in claiming to be the brains behind the brawn of JT, you probably would have still lost, but would have had a chance. I see there, because he did keep reiterating that, like, we shared a brain throughout this whole game. You know, we were like...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We were...
That is true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's
you
kind
probably
of...
should have said that.
Because if you're going to make the distinction of, like, I grew so much in this, you at least got to do the... yeah, even if it's not true, say that I was the brains behind everything. And set yourself apart in that way. Because otherwise, when you share credit for pretty much everything, and then you're the guy more in the shadows, whereas JT was the upfront, charismatic guy, it's gonna default to that person, you know. Right.
It'll look more poorly on you in the long run. Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and then you share credit in the things they don't like. Yeah, so it's like it's like JT wanted to vote Taj out, all that. And then lastly, at Alftovic3820, I think Tocantins is up there among the better seasons. For the most part, it's somewhat predictable, but that's not always a bad thing. It has a strong cast, and sometimes that's all you need. There you go.
Yeah, I would agree.
There it is. It's the Tarqaron Podcast. A good amount of comments there this time.
Yeah.
As always.
Very nice.
Any comments you leave, we'll read them within reason. You know.
Right. Unless they're maybe pertinent to a finale or something like that, or
unless specifically has spoilers or anything offensive. You know.
Right.
We won't just read anything that just gets typed.
But LOL.
I would read that.
Okay.
But it's fun, like, if you comment on older videos, I'll still read those. You know, I'm not just looking on comments for the most recent videos. I'm looking the most recent comments. So you could comment on something 5 years ago. I'll say, okay, we'll talk about it.
Well, that was the COD.
That was not 5 years ago.
No, but
it was not even that long ago. It was like
it wasn't
2 months.
I was more making the point that was not within the last month.
Lost in random. Yeah. Because my brother's making his way through. I think he's up to date on pretty much everything. He did say, I probably won't get Welcome Tour, and I probably won't get Choo Choo Charles. He just said that.
That's okay. We wouldn't be offended.
Not much to miss out on. I'm curious what the Welcome Tour card is, if there's one, though. Yeah. Alright. That's it. Thank you for watching.
That's it.
Subscribe to the channel for more. A new podcast every month for now. And tons of content. Survivor every week, movie reviews, game reviews, discussions, shenanigans, a lot of variety of content, and we've got like a series. We could tease that's coming up soon. We've got Naked Gun.
Yeah.
We're gonna be going through soon, leading up to the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we don't have too much on our plate in terms of like we need to watch this or do these certain things. So maybe we'll be able to free up, get some more of our other series in the mix. That'd
Yeah,
be good.
it's been a little bit since we've done like a Mind Crushers or
Tarqaron
Mad Libs or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. The other ones like the review show.
Right.
Some stuff in the mix, some more different one-offs and whatnot. Take care.
Yeah. That's it.